Welcome to another video by Pharos Technology. Today we're going to talk about dates and a few of the major functions that you use when working with dates. So let's start by opening up our database today, and I want to work with this table here called Account Managers. I'm going to be working with this date right here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and build a query on this so that we can play around with that date and see what date functions we can come up with that are helpful when we need to generate a report or figure out how far into the future 90 days is, or whether they're past due on a bill. All of these things can be done with the date functions that exist in Microsoft Access. So let's go ahead and create that query, and we'll pull Account Managers in here and close that. And so we're going to pull down hire date here. Now, in working with hire date, of course, if we run it, we'll just get that date. Okay. What I do want to show you is a function here really quick, and that's called date. And if I just do this and run it, my test field is going to have today's date. So today is May 13th. And we're filming this today. It'll probably be out 1 or 2 weeks from now, okay? So today's test date is this first function right here. Now, date gives you the whole day. It doesn't give you a fraction of the day, so you don't get the hour of the day, the minute of the day, or the seconds of the day. It is basically just the day, which means it's basically an integer function, because days are whole numbers. So today's date is May 13th. If I take this hire date function, let's say, how long has the employee been working here? So I'm going to call this field called tenure. Date minus hire date. But let's run this. And we get that this person has been here 6,340 days. Well, that's not very helpful, is it? So let's reduce that. So let's take this, and I'm going to say I'm going to do an integer number around that, and I'm going to go to the end here. Okay, so I'm going to divide it by 365.25 and close paren. So now what I have here is I'm going to tab out of it. If I roll up here, I've got the integer of the date minus hire date in parentheses, so it's going to calculate that first, and then divide it by 365.25, and we find that the tenure of this person, starting in January 2nd of 2006 to today, has been 17 years. And we go down here, we got 13, 14, 15 years. So we're basically starting to see how we can use the date field as a mathematical number. And so let's do a few more things here. Let's tweeze out just the year. I'm going to call this hire year, and I'm going to use the function year and going to put hire date in here and close paren. And let's do hire month. And let's do the month function. Open paren, hire date, and close paren. And then let's say, just for fun, let's hire day. And we're going to use the day function. Okay? Now, hire day, so I'm going to put in and close paren. And out there. Let's go ahead and run that. Let's take a look at that. Okay, so this hire date was January 2 of 2006. So we have the hire year is, in fact, 2006. The month is 1, and the day was 2. So that's how you can tweeze out the particular days, months, and years within a date to be able to do some basic math on any one of those dates. Okay? Now, what happens if you've got a database and the fields that they have put together have the year, the month, and the date in 3 separate fields, and you want to put it into a real date. Well, there's a function to put it all back together again. And so let's look at that function real quick. And that function is called DateSerial. I'm going to call this date put back together. And we're going to use a function called DateSerial and open paren. And now I'm going to go ahead and do hire year, close there, and comma, hire month, and hire day. Okay? Just like I did before. So I'm going to use the labels in each one of those. And I need to put my brackets around this. And I should be able to tab out of that. And let's go ahead and see. And we have the DateSerial putting the date back. So you can see there's a lot of things you can do with a date. There's actually a lot more functions than even these functions that I've shown you here. But you get the picture that you can do a lot of things with just a date field. If you have it separate, you can put them back together. If you have them together, you can take it and separate them. You can do math. You can do all kinds of things. Treat a date as though it is a regular piece of mathematical numbers. It's just a variable. It represents a date in time. So you could take the field name, such as hire date here, and put it in a formula just like you would an X, Y, or Z if you're doing any sort of algebra. So hope you've enjoyed this video and hope it helped. So if you hit the like button, it would get it out to more people, and hope to see you again in the channel later. Thanks.